So this question asks, which point about the resources that will be highly valued in space is implicit in passage 1 and explicit in passage 2? So first, you should know what the words implicit and explicit mean. So being implicit means that it's implied, which means that you kind of have to read between the lines, right? It's not actually said in the passage, but you can kind of take that information out of the passage from what's being said. Explicit is the opposite. So it's basically actually somewhere in the passage it was actually said. So you don't have to read between the lines at all. It's literally written somewhere in the passage. Now, I think the easiest one to start with is the explicit in passage 2, because that means that one of these answer choices was actually written somewhere within the passage. So let's look through them and see if we can find any of these things explicitly written in passage 2. So A says, they may be different resources from those that are valuable on Earth. So does it say anywhere in passage 2 that the resources that are in space may be different resources from those that are valuable on Earth? Well, if we look on line 74, it says the resources that are valuable in orbit and beyond may be very different to those we value on Earth. So yes, that's almost exactly word for word. So A is definitely somewhere in passage 2. Let's look at B. It says they will be valuable only if they can be harvested cheaply. I would always be skeptical of answer choices that have only in them, because that makes it very strong. And plus, passage 2 never really said that it'll only be valuable if they can be harvested cheaply. So I'm going to get rid of B. Let's look at C. They are likely to be primarily precious metals and rare earth metals, or rare earth elements. So does passage 2 say the stuff that we're getting from Earth is going to be primarily precious metals and rare earth elements? You can check for yourself by reading through passage 2, but it never says anything about being primarily precious metals or rare earth elements. So I'm going to get rid of C2. And then let's look at D. They may increase in value as those same resources become rare on Earth. And again, we can look through passage 2, but there's nothing that says the value of the ones in space are going to become greater as they become rare on Earth. So D isn't even said in passage 2. So just by checking which ones were explicitly said in passage 2, we already have our answer, right? We know that it's A, because that's the only one that was actually said in passage 2. We don't even have to check that it was implicitly said in passage 1. So the best answer here is A.